Okay, number 8, this is the last one for the apps I'm going to go through. This is more of a typical style question that related to chi-squared that you would come across on an exam. You would generally not have to run a full, all the steps chi-squared test. You'd kind of be broken down part by part. So notice part A is state the null hypothesis. But if you state, it's not working. All right. Anyway, if you state the null hypothesis, that is simply stating, so remember, null hypothesis is saying that whatever the two things are. So in this case, it looks like gender and language, right? Gender and language are independent, right? So you could say that a couple ways. Gender is independent of language. You'd want to actually write that whole thing out. Don't just write down the word independent, right? Do not do that. You need to spell it out in terms of what the two variables are and just say that they're independent. Write down the number of degrees of freedom. That is a write down question. So if you were to run this chi-squared test right now, we would know that answer. Or we could use a little formula, take the number of rows minus 1 times the number of columns minus 1. And in this case, the number of rows is 2. Number of columns is 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. And times 2 is 2. So your calculator would tell you the same thing. Find the expected frequency. So this is a very typical question that you'll be asked to find a specific expected value. Not all of them, but a specific one. In this case, it's for females studying Spanish. So females studying Spanish, that is this cell. So if I want to know the expected value, I would need to take the row total, right? So this is the row total times the column total divided by the table total. Okay, so I know the table total is 150. Okay, they tell me that. The row total, let's see, 38, 48, 50. And then 69. So in this case, this expected frequency, if I want to actually show that work, which I do, I would need to show 50 times 69 divided by 150. And that right there alone would get you almost full points, but you actually want to calculate that, and I'll leave that up to you. Part D, notice it says use your graphic display calculator. You would never have to use the written out form of the formula. You do that with your calculator. And then part E, state whether or not Ludmilla accepts the null hypothesis. Give a reason. So let's see. In this case, they tell us we're at a 5% significance level. They do not give us the critical value. So we have to be able to make the conclusion based off the significance level. So remember from the last one, if P is less than the significance level, we reject the null hypothesis. So we will reject part A if that p-value is less than the significance level. So that's what I'm going to leave that for you to finish up. Again, the rest of that's fairly straightforward. Using your calculator to figure out the rest of that information and make your comparison. For part E, just make sure that you make this comparison. Whatever your p-value is, whether it's greater than or less than the significance level, you need to write that inequality. So you'd write that inequality and then give your reason. Or sorry, the inequality would be your reason. Make sure then you answer. Right, so the reason is the inequality, the comparison of your p-value and significance level, and then your answer. So do we reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis?